Hello, this is Sandra Brown of Happiness Past 60. Well, I was feeling a little groggy. I guess you've been that way before when you've kind of had a busy day and you eat a big meal and you come home and you just feel all cozy. So Mr. Bill and I sat on the love seat and we both fell asleep. I was going to make a little chit chat for you, and then I thought, oh, it's getting too late, but I'm going to do it. So I'm not sure what time it is. It's probably after 4 in the evening, and this is a Thursday. I usually go to breakfast with some lady friends of mine on Thursday morning, but we had a surprise birthday party. They're mostly neighborhood ladies. That would be Suzanne across the street, who's a rather recent widow, and then Joan, who lives next door to her. Then a few other ladies I didn't know that well, but we were having a little party for a very sweet lady by the name of Heather. And so we brought a few gifts, and Joan made a nice chocolate cake, and Suzanne bought, what do you call them, kazoos or something? Did you blow in? We had a little mix-up about Suzanne getting there, but we got it. We all ended up showing up at the restaurant, and they were going to have it at a sushi restaurant. Well, I've never had sushi in my life, and some of you who are familiar with Mr. Bill know he hates fish, so we don't go near those places. And I was thinking, what am I going to find to eat? I just don't like the idea of, I think of sushi as like a lot of raw fish and stuff like that. Well, let's see, I ordered, I think it was steak and vegetables and rice. You know, each by themselves. The vegetables were so good, not soggy or underdone, but kind of crisp and in a really nice, nicely seasoned sauce kind of. And the steak was in small pieces, very well seasoned. The rice, well seasoned. It was very good. In fact, I would definitely go back there again. Oh, we got a Domino's in our area. Crossville is not noted for having a whole lot of restaurants and things like that. So we finally got a Domino's, and we had that yesterday. And it's just nice to know that in case someone come over and we need to have something real quick, that we could at least order a pizza. And they were so friendly and nice at Domino's. The owner's daughter, she's 26 years old, beautiful girl, and she talked with us for the longest time. She talked to us until the pizza was ready, as a matter of fact. And they're doing really good at the restaurant. They own 9 total restaurants. So, and it was $9.99 for a large pizza. It was a special because of the grand opening. Okay, let's see what's happened in our lives. Well, a friend of ours, whose name is Dan, for those of you who pray, if you would pray for Dan, I don't know if they'd want their last name on here, I don't know, but pray for Dan. God knows who it is. He and his wife are in our small groups at church. When those of you who aren't familiar with small groups, it'd be, the church I go to is really big. And so the pastor really can't get to know everybody that well. He feels like, and most of the big churches feel this way, we need to have smaller groups where we all get together and get to know each other, and we can help each other, encourage each other, pray for each other. So we're in one of those, and I think, I don't know if there's maybe 8 of us possibly in there. And one couple, they're there his name is Dan. He's 75, I believe. And his wife is younger. I don't know how old she is. Her name is Pat. But okay. But anyways, she's a realtor. They're just the sweetest people. Dan is a tall man, about 6'6", I believe he is. And when they come to, weather permitting, when they come to our small groups, they're always riding on an electric bike. And we live here in Tennessee, so it's very hilly, up and downhill, and so you almost have to have an electric bike. Excuse me. It was a loud swallow, right? Anyways, they came, and many times, I think the last time Dan was at class, he made a pot roast for all of us with vegetables and stuff. It was so good. It was so nice of him. And then we live on the golf course, so at times they are putting plugs out here. They take plugs out of the grass, or they fertilize or do something like that. But they kind of open it up where you can ride bikes or walk on the golf cart trails. So they were doing that. They were riding on the golf cart trails. And Dan was riding behind Pat. And she heard him say, "Oh no." And then she looked back, and she didn't see how it happened. And no one knows, because, my goodness, how long? I'm trying to think how long ago this happened. 3-4 weeks, something like that. So she didn't actually see what happened, but he had a helmet on, but he fractured his nose, fractured his skull, broke his nose, fractured his skull, and fractured, I think, a cheekbone. But he hit so hard, he was really bleeding profusely. Thank God they knew somebody who lived there on the golf course right across the way, and they called an ambulance, and it was there in no time. They were very quick about getting there. He's been actually unconscious ever since then. He is restless. They had this feeding tube up his nose, and they just, thank God, took that out, because he's just breathing through his mouth. And if his nose is broke, I'm thinking it's probably swelled inside, and plus that tube. But they have such a good marriage, and they're just wonderful Christian people. It's just a long story all that's going on, but they are talking about possibly, taking him to a rehab. She can't have him home. Like I say, he's a big man. But pray for them, please. All right, so Mr. Bill and I, we decided to go up and visit Dan and Pat. And I got to get my glasses to read this. And so we thought, well, as long as we're going up there, our car needs to have its oil changed. It's a Subaru. And we'll go to the Subaru dealer and then up to the hospital, which we did. We went to get the oil change, and drove up to the hospital. And it was, what is the name of it? Okay, I have it on here. Joe to visit Dan. Oh, University of Tennessee Medical Center. It was big, and I think, I don't know how many garages were there. Maybe four garages. And so we weren't sure where to go when we got there, and we ended up going in a parking lot that we found out was for the faculty or staff. So we left there, and then went over to where we found some garages, and we weren't sure what garage to go in. We did pick the right one. But we were like, looking around. Oh, yeah, take this one, and we turned in there, and then we went. You know how you're going up higher and higher in the garage. So when we got out, we had been making so many turns and what we're doing, and I said, "How are we going to find our way back to this?" And he goes, "Oh, don't worry, I know where it's." Well, I'm glad you do, because I could really get turned around. Never do that again. I will. And he's very good. He's very good at finding things and not getting lost. But we did. But we did a lot of walking to finally get to Dan's room, and we got there okay. Went down a lot of different halls. Probably could have been easier if we knew where we were going. And they were cleaning Dan up when we got there, so we was waiting outside, and then we seen Pat coming down, and she was just so thankful, because the day before, they weren't giving her much hope at all that Dan was going to make it. And that day, Dan was able to speak. The nurse asked him what his son's name was, and I think he said it was Ron, and she was in there, his wife Pat, and they said, he asked her, who is this, and you know who this is? And he says, my wife. And he was answering different things. So it was just a miracle, because they were talking about taking the feeding tube out, but the way they were talking, it was because they just didn't think he was going to make it. But they did take the feeding tube out, but they put it in through his stomach somewhere, so he doesn't have that irritation. So when we're leaving now, and now we got the dog at home, and she'd been there for a long time, needed to go out, and so we prayed for him, of course. I brought a bottle of, I believe in what the Bible says, if they're sick among you, to anoint them with oil and pray for them. So I had a bottle of oil from Jerusalem, a little bottle. It has a little roller in it. Put that on Dan's head and prayed for him. And that was the whole purpose why we went up there. So we left, and then we just got so lost trying to find the garage. We didn't even know what garage it was. Oh my goodness. But and then I started praying under my breath, oh Lord, help us to find this garage. Now, all of a sudden, this man appears. And he says, can I help you? I think that's how he said it. Can I help you? And we said, yeah, we had the ticket from the garage, but it didn't show what garage we were in. But anyways, he said, my brother's up here. And he says something about he had to go into his room for something. If you wait here a minute, I'll come back and I'll walk you. I'm thinking, he doesn't even know what garage, but I'll walk with you to find it. So there was a little bench there, and we've been walking, and I go, honey, let's just sit down here a minute till he gets back. And because I don't know how much more walking we're going to have to do. Well, he did come right back, and he walked us. We were trying to figure it out, and I said, okay, was looking at this map thing, and I know we came on this street, and we would have come in this garage, and we were figuring out how we got there. So he got us into the correct garage, got on this elevator up to the top floor, and lo and behold, there was our car as soon as we opened that door. And I reached in my purse and I grabbed a $20 bill and I gave it to him. He didn't want to take it. And I go, no, I insist. And then I said, why are you up here? And he goes, oh, my brother, some of the arteries to his kidneys, something happened to him. He was really sick, his brother James. And I said, I promise you, we're going to pray for James. I said, we will pray for James. And he was like, so grateful for that. I could just tell it, thank you, And we just thanked him profusely. God bless him. Okay, then we got in the car and long ride home. We were glad. I mean, we were glad that we went. We really were. Okay, what else? Let's see. Oh, yeah, I was at the dollar store I picked up. Aren't these cute? It's navy blue and brown and square, but the top is round. And it's beige and rust color inside. It's only $1.29. The reason I got it is and it's really heavy, which I kind of like that because they won't get knocked over and they stay warm. One of the reasons I got $1.29, I just bought 2 of them, was because I have some heavy mugs, but they're not microwavable. I mean, the handle gets real hot. I'm sure you've had that, so I thought these are cute. We're going to do that. Bill's been working on his book, and I opened an Amazon store. I didn't know how to do that. I figured it out. And so I worked for 2 days just putting items in the store that I have bought, and some things I haven't bought but that I really like and I'd like to buy. But I've got a link, and then I was putting it on my videos. I don't have it on all my videos because I have way over 300 videos, but on my most recent ones I have them there. And I'll put it on this one too. So go in there and look around, see if you see anything else. So all the things I've ever mentioned, they're in there. And I'm going to be adding stuff all the time. Let's see what else. Let's see. I did that one. I'm trying to read on here without looking conspicuous. Isabella, my great niece. She is doing well. She's gone through physical therapy, and she has a back brace on. But she's doing good. And her friends, she has Christian friends, boys and girls, who came up to the hospital and prayed for her. And I love that. I'm just so glad to see that there's still young people doing things like that. Because, when we as Christians are gone, I'm just glad there's going to be younger people to take over. As far as the weather here, it's been raining a lot. My goodness. It's raining today, but tomorrow the sun's coming out. But it's so beautiful. Everything is so green. My maple bush is so pretty, and all the trees are in bloom. Grass is so green. It's just so beautiful outside. I really love that. When I was at the dollar store, I bought a package of zinnia seeds I'm going to start. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but I think they're more of the dwarf side, so I can put them in pots maybe. My tomato plants are doing great. So I think I'll stop this right now for the moment and add a few things that I'll have to do with pictures. And then after church Sunday, we went to Cracker Barrel. I'm not into cow stuff, but they had a hamburger press. Put your hamburgers in, and this lifts, then you lift it out. I had a hamburger press, but after we, okay, how does it go in? Okay. But after we got married and I moved up here, I lost it, as usual. This is a bacon press. It's like an iron skillet, the same stuff. Okay, well, I'll tell you what I did. I have to admit, I did a dumb thing. It was greasy, of course, after using it, and I put it in the dishwasher. I know that was stupid. You're not supposed to do that. I just couldn't stand the grease on it. So it all rusted and looked terrible. So here's what I got when I was at Cracker Barrel. What does it say on here? Lodge, okay. Yeah. You know how iron stuff, the skillets and stuff are made by Lodge? They had them, but it's expensive. I think it was like $10. But you take it and you rub it on an iron skillets or any iron thing that you have, and it takes all the rust off. And then I took Crisco and rubbed it all over the pig, and I preheated my oven to 450 degrees and put it in there for 1 hour. It came out perfect, perfectly seasoned. So now we're going to do the iron skillet we have next. And these are my tomato plants I got going here. I've been pinching them back because they got too big. And this one now, when you got a stem like this, I've already buried it deep, but it just grew up again. When you have a stem like this, you can actually lay this plant in the dirt, cover the whole thing, clear up to here. You know, be careful, but this will start growing straight up. The top part will, because that whole stem will turn into roots. That's what we want. But yeah, I've got them all marked. Those are cherry ones and some mortgage lifters. Oh, and then I started some little plants down here. Just started these. And this I have listed in my store too. It's the Arrow Garden. Which, I just keep these. Now I'm going to take out and put in some cups and start something else in here. I can't think what flowers I've got in here now, but I'm going to put my zinnias in here. Okay, well, that's all for today. I hope all of you are doing well. Father, I just pray you'll bless everyone, all the people who are listening. God bless them, each one of them, Lord. Meet all of their needs. Bless them, Lord, and heal them. Heal every part of their body and bring peace to their lives. In Jesus' name, love all you guys. God bless you now. Bye-bye. We could do How old are you? Well,